Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. Welcome to another, is it podcast or just recording? I normally say bastard world as well, because it's true, this is a bastard world. But we have another Black Brothers Nuts put in the vice, Mr. Kevin Hart quits as host amid tweets row. Now, let me make this point very clear. I think Kevin Hart is one of the most unfunniest people of the planet. I do not know what people find funny about him. I think he's rubbish. That's my personal view. I don't find anything that he's funny at all. Just don't. But, people find him funny. And so, there you have it. But I just don't think he's funny. Really, really don't. He's definitely not nowhere near a Chris Rock, nowhere near a Dave Chappelle at all. Just isn't funny. But regardless, people find him funny and reasonably entertaining, and good if you can get people to laugh at your jokes that you think are funny. That's great. But he's one of the latest people to have been sneered by the SJW wankers, all the twats out of the LGBTQ community. Another scalp. And he tried to weather the storm, but it just didn't work. I think, for him being in Hollywood, I mean, now today being black, he's not gonna be easily kicked out because he's as such. But so, if this was a white man, you're done, you're finished, you're toast. That's it. But let's read it. US comedian and actor Kevin Hart says he has stepped down from hosting the 2019 Oscars following a controversy over homophobic tweets. He said he did not want to be a distraction and that he was very sorry he had hurt people. Now, this was tweets that he put out in, I believe, in 2010. The choice of Hart for host was only announced on Tuesday, so they didn't take much time in checking his tweets out and seeing what they could dig up. But tweets from a decade ago emerged of anti-gay slurs, sparking calls for the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Science to drop him. So he stepped down himself. He didn't wait. He just said, stuff it. Kevin had said hosting the Oscars was a goal on my list for a long time. But in a tweet late on Thursday, he said he had chosen. So literally within 2 days, it was it. I wonder what the situation is. I mean, I hope he's signed on the dotted line, so he will still have to be paid because he signed a contract. So they'll have to give him his moolah, whether they like it or not. Because I do not want to be a distraction on a night that should be celebrated by so many amazing, talented artists. He said, I sincerely, why do you have to apologise? You don't need to apologise. You know, my personal view, I wouldn't apologise to anybody. I would have said, right, okay, stuff your bastard, stick your award up your ass, and then just go about your business. You know, because I mean, the trouble with a lot of people, greed really pushes people. I mean, I don't know what Kevin Hart is worth now. God, he's got to be hitting 100, must be 150 million. You know, how much more money do you need? I mean, he's done a couple of crappy films, and he's been paid reasonably well. But he's got to be hitting at least the 50 to 100 million pounds. You know, I would be happy with just £1 million, and that would serve me for the rest of my life. There seems to be some, and you see, the thing is, you know, many people, these people need to be advised. You know, you can be like Robert De Niro, you can be like Michael J. Jackson, Samuel J. Jackson. Sorry, I apologise, and have a fairly long career in Hollywood and all this kind of business. But you should be doing some good quality investments, buying good quality properties that are yours, investing in other properties. But the most important thing is, don't get married. Don't get married. Especially if you're a guy. Don't get married. Or if you're going to get married, make sure you have the most cast iron prenuptials that you can muster up in the business if you insist on getting married. You know. But again, it shouldn't. There was nothing to be. It was 2010. It's not now. Did he come out with all this himself, or did someone write this for him? I don't know. I'm sorry that I hurt people. I'm involved in and want to continue to do so. My goal is to bring people together and not tear us apart. Much love and appreciation to the Academy. I hope we can meet again. So really what he's doing is the damage limitation. He wants to come back maybe in a few years' time when hopefully the whole thing will have died down, and he said his apology because he, you know, at the end of the day, maybe he'll come back in a year, next year, or a couple of years, because that's what his goal is. So he has to let gas for the future, because that's what he wants to do, which is a shame. I think, I think the way that the SJWs are now literally just taken over society. I don't tweet. I don't. Twitter seems to be a thing, especially with a lot of celebrities and well-known people. Really, really use a lot. I don't use it. I do not use Twitter. Not to communicate with people. If I send something on it, it's just to put something on, really to piss people off. But I do not use Twitter as a communication form to talk with anybody. Don't communicate with anybody. Comments Hart made during a comedy routine in 2010 have been put under the spotlight in recent days. One of my greatest fears is my son growing up and being gay. A lot of men fear that. Heterosexual men, if the truth be told, and he's just telling the truth, that's a fear, which is definitely true. He told the audience. Keep in mind, I'm not homophobic. Yeah, I have nothing against gay people. Be happy, do what you want to do. But me, being a heterosexual male, if I can prevent my son from being gay, I will. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, the mantra of the homosexual community is, what are you afraid of a gay planet? If you get a gay planet, you ain't going to have children. I suppose, you'll be swapping sperm with the lesbians, and they'll come to you, can you give us a cup of sperm? And then they'll go off and inseminate themselves. That's probably the way they want to do it, which is, that's fair enough. But hopefully I'll be dead and gone by then. But he wants to have kids. He wants his child to be straight. That's a good thing. If he had said that, I hope my son grows up to be homosexual and to be gay in 2010, turn it the other way around, would there be any complaints? Nobody would complain. If the church complained, they wouldn't be listened to. The media wouldn't have heard him. The media wouldn't have heard the church. They would have just ignored the church. But if he just said, "Oh, look, I really want my son to be homosexual. I want him to bring round his boyfriend. We can all sit around and have tea together. That would be really nice." They would have been happy with that. But when you do the opposite, then you're a villain. In 2015, by which time his profile had risen significantly, Hart addressed the stand-up routine in question in an interview with Rolling Stone. So 5 years later, Rolling Stone decided to pick up on him about the issue. I wouldn't tell that joke today. That was in 2015, because when I said it, times weren't as sensitive as they are now, which is absolutely correct. So he didn't get roasted then, but now they've looked for something. They've been waiting. It's 8 years, and now they've got him. I think we love to make big deals out of things that aren't necessarily big deals because we can. Absolutely correct. So he's tried to deal with this through by tweeting back to be as defiant as possible. When he revealed he would be the Oscars host earlier this week, Hart said it was the opportunity of a lifetime for me as a comedian, and that his mother was smiling from ear to ear right now. So you see, the thing is, when a black man does something that looks like it's going to advance him further, if the truth be told, the feminist movement can't stand black men. The lesbian, white, feminist movement, intelligentsia, bourgeois, white bitches cannot stand black men. And so whenever they get the opportunity, like they have now, bang, they go for it. They go for it. See, I believe that what we're witnessing for the last 8 years is because of Obama. I think when Obama came into power, that was the start of the SJWs. They suddenly just spewed out of the woodwork. And all the nonsense in the universities and all that kind of business has occurred because of his presidency. And now we've got to a situation where in 2018, a tweet that was done 10 years ago, an explanation was given in 2015, wasn't good enough for the SJWs, wasn't enough for the LGBT community. Now, 2018, they don't want him to host. And they've got their wish. And they're happy. Bunch of fucking bastards. So the mother will not go to this, to this thing, which she was hoping she would take. Where's his father? No mention of his dad. Shame. Earlier on Thursday, it had appeared he would try to ride out the storm. In an Instagram post, he spoke out against the negative energy of the criticism, saying that people should stop searching for reasons to be angry. He said he was almost 40 and was in love with the man I'm becoming. God almighty. He's got 66 million followers.
I swear, man, our world is becoming beyond crazy. I'm not going to let the craziness frustrate me or anger me, especially when I worked hard to get to the mental space that I am at now. My team calls me, oh my God, Kevin, the world is upset about tweets you did years ago. Oh my God. Guys, I'm almost 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify or explain their past, then do you. I'm the wrong guy, man. I'm in a great place, a great mature place, where all I do is spread positivity. If you're not doing that, you're not on my page.
Well, there you go. It unfortunately didn't work for you, because at the end of the day, by hook or by crook, in this society, in this day, the LGBT community, the SJWs, the feminist movement know exactly how to bring you down. And they've had 8 years under the presidency of the Obama administration to get all the framework in place to bring you down. And that's what they've done. In a later video, he said he had been called, this is quite interesting, he had been called by the Academy and asked to apologise or another host would be found. So there you go. There's the ultimatum. You better apologise, otherwise we'll find somebody else. I chose to pass. I passed on the apology, he said, repeating his assertion that the issue of the tweets had been addressed in the past. So you see, kudos to him. He's what he wants. He's trying to front these bastards, and he's saying, "Okay, stuff you, stick your award up your fucking ass." And he said, "I chose to pass. I passed on the apology." But here's the problem for him: if you want to continue to work in Hollywood, you better apologize. Whether you mean it or not, it doesn't matter. So even though he's standing up to them, he's got to capitulate, whether he likes it or not. And which he said, he'd already dealt with it in the past, that the issues of the tweets had been addressed in the past. And he appeared to later change his mind and issue an apology as he stood down, because he has no choice. Unfortunately, the whole business has been played out in public, and the Academy Award would have found somebody else, and Kevin Hart would never be able to get any more business in Hollywood. And he would have probably, carry on with his comedic work and doing all his business. But any contract, TV work and small film work, he would really, really struggle. Look at his 66 million Twitter followers. Those would have dwindled. But the guy's not a poor man. He's doing well now. I mean, he's earning a lot of cash. Investment. If you find yourself in a situation, set up your own studio, do your own films, do things in the black community, do things in other communities, if you get yourself in this kind of situation, because you're being held by the nuts by these bastards in Hollywood. Look at Robert Redford. Robert Redford set up the Sundance um, festival. Black people, black actors, black communities should be doing something, so they're not being held by the nuts by the bastards in Hollywood. And here we have this. Oh, here we go. So I didn't finish. So he tried to, um, stand up, but he knows he can't. That apology has to be issued if he's to continue to get work. That's it. So here's this twat from Parks and Recreation actor. Welcomed the news on Twitter as one of the very few openly gay men in comedy who's fortunate enough to work as much as I do. I will always fight for my LGBTQ community to get the respect we deserve. So here he goes. No, he says here, I'm no saint. No, you aren't, you twat. Definitely ain't no saint. We just wanted a little understanding. We just wanted a little understanding, a little explanation. Apologies are tough. They leave you vulnerable. Toxic masculinity. Oh, jeez, I can't say. Toxic masculinity is real. What about toxic femininity? That's real as well. They go hand in hand. If there's toxic masculinity, there's toxic femininity. Period. I deal with it in my own way too. So on that note, I appreciate Kevin Hart apologizing. An apology accepted. That's all. Fuck off. I mean, Kevin stated it was dealt with in the past. Doesn't matter. They weren't interested. They were not interested. And this guy shows, this bully muppet showed, you must apologize. You must debase yourself. Period. To appease the twats in the LGBTQ, whatever it is you want to call themselves. But others online expressed disappointment about Hart stepping down, including former Golden Globes host Ricky Gervais. I'm sure. Ricky Gervais, I saw his when they eventually, I think a year later or what it was, he just ripped into all these wankers in Hollywood. He was fantastic. It's just a laugh a second. Ricky Gervais is fantastic. That's what I class as a comedian. He was really, really good. And the time when I think it was Robbie Downey Jr., when he took the piss out and he really lost his collective. Shit! How dare you insult me? I'm a superstar! He's brilliant. You know what? They're not going to have any problems finding someone. They'll bring in a woman. Into this. DeGeneres has said she didn't want to do the show again because she just found it tough. She found it really, really tough. I think after, with all the criticism and all this kind of nonsense. So it's like, why do you want to put yourself through that? You got your money. You've done it. Go about your business. Because you see, the thing is, you're not as good as Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal was the dog. He was the Don Dada. He was the dog's business. He was the best of the best. And I wish he'd come back maybe just to do one more. Or I mean, obviously Ricky's probably trying to put his hat in the ring. Maybe they'll think, you know what, let's bring him in, because he's done it before with the Golden Globes. Oscars was just a little bit bigger audience. The only time I'm offended by a comedian is when they apologise. The 9,000 people tweeted this. He's so funny. Really, really cool guy. Here we go. Who might take over? Actress Busy Phillips, who the fuck she is. I don't know who she is. Wasted no time in suggesting she should host the ceremony instead. Failing that, she said, any female host would be preferable. Why? Helen DeGeneres did it before. She was useless. She's supposed to be a fairly good comedian. I mean, the only comedian, if she was still alive today, who could do that job and bring the house down, Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was one of the best comedians when she was alive. She was just, brilliant. Like Ricky Gervais, just a female version. Very, very good she was. If she was alive now, she could do that show with no problems. But the current, bitches that we've got today, waste of time. Oh shit, Silverman. Hey, nobody would be watching that show if that bitch was to do it. And then she goes here, or any other bitch working in Hollywood right now who wants to. Let's move on, people. Enough said. So it says here, the Oscars have been hosted by women before. Ellen DeGeneres, Anne Hathaway, who co-hosted with James Franco. Other suggestions put forward on social media included Daily host Trevor Nelson. I think he would be quite good, actually. RuPaul, God forbid. Justin Timberlake. Yeah, he might be quite good. Tiffany Donkey Ass, whatever her name is. I don't know who this one is. And whoever this silly bitch is. Living for this drama. Who's up next to the plate to take a swing at hosting this year? And so on and so on. But potential new hosts may be reluctant to take on the job. Exactly. Because they're seeing the nonsense that's going on. And I think the viewership is going down as well as time goes on. But people are going to, more and more actors and entertainers are going to not want to do the job because of this constant nonsense, But hey, they will find somebody, and they'll just have to, scrape the bottom of the barrel and bring someone on, and hope that they, perform reasonably well on the night. The role has thrown up problems for a number of past hosts, and the Hollywood Reporter has called it the least wanted job in Hollywood. This latest controversy comes after a difficult few years for the Academy that have seen Envelope Gate, Oscar So White, campaign and scrapping of a proposed popular film academy, film award academy. The Oscars will take place in Los Angeles on the 24th of February. So there you have it. Kevin Hart has nuts have been put in a vice, and he's had to unfortunately give it up. For those of you who think he's a great comedian, I don't personally think he is, but I'm just, it's just a shame. He had to was run out by the SJW and the LGBTQ community. So another one bites the dust. They've been after Mr. Is it Tyson DeGrassi, or was it DeGrassi Tyson, the scientist guy, black guy? His nuts have been put in the vice as well. So we've yet to see more that'll come out of this stupid Me Too and nonsense in the next few months to come. So anyway, that's my view. He tried to be defiant, but unfortunately he realised, that it wasn't going to, in the long run, it wasn't going to work out for him if he wanted to stay in Hollywood, period. Because they will shut all the doors to you. They did it with, what's his name? Mel Gibson, when he came out with these anti-Semitic issues. I think it was nearly 4 or 5 years longer. He was in, basically in the wilderness before he eventually came back in. Before they were able to, forgive him, and he was able to come back in again. So yeah, I mean, so he's having to play toe the line with these twats in order to stay in Hollywood. Anyway, I've said my say. If you can pass this around for other people to hear, I would be truly grateful. Thanks very much.